today we're talking wood chips. Bet you don't hear that every day. But wood chips are a really great tool for a small farm and homestead. I think it's a pretty exciting topic. You may not, but anytime I get a load of wood chips delivered, makes my day. I use them all the time in the garden, in the rows, and they make great mulch cover. They make great soil once they break down, and best of all, they're free. You never get enough wood chips. All right, so right now I'm in the main garden. It's not quite springtime. Not a lot growing. I have a little bit of cover of clover in some of the rows, but in a lot of rows, I just have wood chips. They keep the ground moist. Even in the heat, when you pull them back, it's moist underneath there. And I put wood chips in all my walking paths in between the rows. We had a lot of rain in Tennessee, and the wood chips work great to keep the paths accessible. So even after a rain, a couple hours later, I can generally walk on my paths without any problem. When you pull back the wood chips, you can see underneath the soil is great. And the longer the wood chips are there, they will degrade and create great soil. So it's like a win-win. The worms love them. They produce great cover, great mulch, and ultimately, great soil. In the spring, and then again in the fall, I like to take the older wood chips that have been in my pathways for many months, and I just rake them up onto my beds. They provide new mulch for the beds. They've started breaking down a little bit too, so they're not super fresh. You can see, it looks great under there. And then they'll keep the beds happy for the winter. Then I will just add new fresh wood chips to the paths and let the cycle start all over again. One of the downsides, I suppose I should mention, of wood chips is that snails and slugs love to live in the moist environment that's produced by wood chips. It is a problem, but I guess it's one that I'm willing to deal with because the wood chips provide so much benefit to the soil health. I don't have to water as much, all of that. So I'm gonna lose a few plants to the snails and slugs, but I guess that's a trade-off I will live with. Here's the end of my current garden beds. And here is where I'm expanding. So about a year and a half ago, all I did was mow this area down really close to the ground. I may have even done a weed trimming to make it really tight. And then I just dumped loads and loads of wood chips on here. If you put the wood chips on thick enough, they'll smother out the grasses eventually and the weeds and everything. And then you get this. And this year, I think, so these wood chips are probably a year and a half old now. And so I'm gonna dig into them and plant, I think, like a pumpkin patch or squash, winter squash, and just let them wander all around here. Not in official beds, but we'll see what happens. It might be kind of fun. But I'm gonna dig down here. I haven't done this in ages. Let's see what it looks like. Wow. See? That's what happens when you let wood chips degrade for a year or two. This is going to be great for planting in. One thing I should probably mention is that I don't know who they is, but they say that you shouldn't bury wood chips, like turn it under the soil. You should just leave the wood chips on the top of the soil. Because if you bury them under the soil, they say that the carbon, as the wood chips break down, it's a big carbon source, and they require nitrogen, so they will steal nitrogen from your plants, the roots and things, and cause your plants to get stunted and nitrogen deficient. I don't bury the wood chips, but I am also not at all concerned if some of them get mixed in with the top of the rows. I haven't seen any troubles from that, so I'm going with it. I think wood chips are great to use. And overall, I think the benefit is outstanding. So, go wood chips! Hooray! Oh, look! More wood chips! These wood chips go in the high tunnel. I use wood chips in all the paths in my high tunnel. It's great, so I can walk on there. And then a couple times a year, I rake all of these wood chips onto the main beds. And they break down into great soil. They start out as mulch, free mulch, and they turn into soil. That's a win. Here is one of the drawbacks of using wood chips in your garden. I'm pretty sure that this is an example of snail and/or slug damage. These poor little broccoli rabe are having a rough go of it. I keep planting new ones, and every morning I come out and I've lost a couple more. I'll keep planting, see how it goes. Maybe I'll figure out a way to protect them somehow. Gotta go after those snails and slugs, but either way, I'm still a wood chip fan. I forgot to mention, so I figured I'd add this in. There's a website, I think it's chipdrop.com, and you can sign up for free and say, I'm interested in getting a load of wood chips. And local tree companies or whoever have extra wood chips might deliver a load to you when they have one in your area. I've been signed up on that for a couple of years now, and I've never gotten one from them, but I do know others who have. So that's an option, especially if you're in a more suburban area and you want to get a pile of wood chips. Just be careful, they will give you a whole load of them, so you're gonna get a lot. Worth mentioning though. I'm borrowing the skid steer today because I'm gonna use this to move some wood chips. This should be fun. Here we go. I did it. My technique, I'm sure, was not stellar using that skid steer, but hey, I got her done. I'm also pretty sure I'm going to hear some comments from my better half that I may have ripped up the nice gravel a little bit more than optimal, but hey, I did it. I'm calling it a win. All those chips are now down in the garden to start decomposing down there. Hooray! In summary, wood chips are great. I hope you found my fascination with wood chips to be interesting / educational. I don't know, something entertaining. Go wood chips. That's all for now. Take care, guys. Just keep growing. Have I mentioned that I like wood chips